Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is JGod. In today's video, we're going to focus on the brand new Mastercraft variant called the Vampire Hunter, which is for the Vapor XKG. And if you're interested, there will be a best class setup for the Vapor as well. This Mastercraft variant is available in the black market for 1 week on PlayStation 4 and will be available on Xbox and PC next week for 1 week as well. If you're looking to get your hands on this weapon, you can just go ahead and head over to the black market and it'll cost you 1,000 COD points. And once you go ahead and equip that Mastercraft variant, you'll actually have 3 different stages. After you get 5 kills, it'll go ahead and light up the weapon in a few areas, and then once you get to 10 kills, it'll go ahead and change that 3rd stage and light up most of the weapon. Personally, I don't think this variant's worth it. I know a lot of people are willing to spend approximately $10 to get their weapon to look a little different. And the main advantage is going to be the iron sights, but overall I don't really have a problem with the Vapor's traditional iron sights. Here's a side-by-side comparison. Obviously on the left is going to be that Vampire Hunter, on the right is the traditional variant. But at the end of the day, regardless of all that, it really just comes down to preference. If it bothers you, you probably can equip an ELO if you don't want to spend the 10 bucks. If you don't mind, there you go, you got a brand new variant. So let me go ahead and weigh in on the topic from my own personal perspective. Personally, I do not think it's worth it, not even close to $10, because it is only applicable to one weapon. Whereas the reactive camos can be equipped to any weapon that you've done the gold camo challenges on. And the pricing on the reactive camos have been like $4, $6, kind of in that price range. So the fact that this is $10 for one variant doesn't make much sense to me. The other big issue that comes up in my opinion is the pay to win factor. And obviously this isn't a stat changing variant by any means, but the fact that you can have clearer sight lines when you actually aim down sight is a huge advantage over someone else who decided to stick with the standard variant, either because they didn't want to spend $10 on microtransactions, or maybe they just couldn't afford the microtransactions altogether. And you can even take it a step further and question the ethics of the people in charge, and to even question the motives of whether or not they designed the original Vapor to have worse iron sights so that this variant would be more desirable. And obviously if it's more desirable, it will rake in more money. And that's about all I wanted to talk about microtransactions. It seems like a cool variant, probably not worth $10, but I wanted to show it off to you so you guys know whether or not you want to invest that money yourself. Now let's go ahead and transition to the best class setup for the Vapor XKG. And even though not much has really changed or anything at all with this weapon, I decided to mix up the attachments just a little bit. So I actually have 2 different best class setups for you. Hopefully you'll go ahead and give them a try. Let me know what you think of them. The first best class setup is going to be the ELO double stock with rapid fire. Normally I would run a suppressor on this weapon, which you'll see in the next class setup. I am running that ComSec device with scavenger and dead silence. And for that second best class setup, I went with double stock, rapid fire, suppressor. And for the gear right here, I still have the ComSec device, but you can really have the stim shot or that acoustic sensor. Really depends on your preference. In the gameplay, you'll probably see a little bit of stim shot action. And then you see that I have scavenger and dead silence. So I think that pretty much covers the main 2 reasons why you clicked on this video. Now I'm going to transition to my favorite part, which is a gameplay breakdown. It seems like a lot of my subscribers benefit from it. So hopefully if you're new to the channel, you will as well. And with that, just a friendly reminder, if you could help me out, hit that like button if you have enjoyed the video or any of the content that you're about to see. And if you'd like to find your way back to the channel and haven't already hit that subscribe button with notifications on, remember to do that before you click away. So you can see pretty much I joined into the match late. I have 0 kills, 0 deaths, and the score is 107 to 99. And I wanted to talk about that because a lot of times people only focus on the start of the match when they're in a 3-man party and they're controlling spawns and all this kind of nonsense. This is a realistic scenario that will happen to you on a regular basis. So typically when this happens, you want to identify where all your teammates are, and that'll help you better to understand where all the enemies are. Normally when you lock down an area of the map, ideally you want to lock it down so you can stay in control of B, because as long as you stay in control of B, 99% of the time you are going to win domination matches. You can see that my teammates recaptured C, so as long as I stay in this area, I'm in a pretty good spot. You can see I used those disruptors. They didn't give me any hit markers, so I know that the area is fairly clear. And if you decide to take up either one of these classes, if you're not strafing the gunfight, you're doing something wrong. Obviously you want that extra strafing speed, obviously, so you're a little bit harder target to hit, but the main thing is that you're going to get that additional rotational aim assist, also known as sticky aim. And if you're not 100% sure what sticky aim or rotational aim assist is, I highly recommend you check out my 5 tips for better accuracy video down in the description below. So pretty much what you've seen me do is kind of rotate around this area. I'm seeing if anything's happening at B, and then I go ahead and push for B at the right time. I look to peek that area, making sure no one's there. Then I go ahead and jump back in the area. Looked like I was just a little bit late. I cleared the guy off, and now I'm rotating back to the left side, Hopefully it'll lock down these enemies as they come up, and it'll make it a little bit more protection for my teammates to gather around B. One of the biggest mistakes I run into when I switch to scavenger instead of running crash is I don't always run over those ammo bags. So you're going to see I run into a little bit of an issue, but I leave that in the gameplay because maybe you're struggling with that same issue every time you're not able to run crash. So at this point, I pretty much only have one magazine left. I'm going to go ahead and call in that Hellstorm, clear someone off of B, try to go for someone on this bridge, but I'm not able to take them out because they have something to protect themselves. The match is still very close at this point, but I'm incredibly close to that strike team, and I want to make sure I'm able to call them in so I can actually have a little bit of sway in the match. And more often than not, once you call in these streaks, it tends to turn the tide in your favor and allows you to dominate the rest of the match. And that's one of the things that was kind of taken away from us with the introduction of Zero. A lot of times you got to consider what streaks you're calling in, what time of the match you're calling them in. And that's an unfortunate aspect because it kind of takes away the power of a better player to trying to help out their team by calling in streaks. So you can see how I'm kind of rotating up here, trying to stay almost on a head glitch as I back up. And lucky for me, I'm able to run right up to this guy with my dead silence. He doesn't hear me. I melee him twice, take his gun, and then get a few other kills to continue the streak. One of the biggest elements of why I chose this particular gameplay is coming up very soon, and it happens very often. And it will more than likely be the #1 cause of a death besides specialists or score streaks. So you know how earlier I said the streaks help you to turn the tide? Well, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to make our teammates feel a little too comfortable and push all the way down to A. You're going to see my strike team slowly move that way, and they'll almost push to a point where our teammates can push that area and essentially flip the spawns where we're starting to lose C. And with that spawn flip, it turns a predictable spawning area into the opposite, where the enemy is actually going to be spawning in multiple areas on the opposite side of the map. One area is behind this church, and the other one is all the way by C in that little corner by the water. And of course I have a bad angle. I'm kind of in the open. I wasn't really expecting any enemy to be there because for the entire match, none of them were coming from that area because we had it locked down. And if you look closely where I spawn in, you can see I spawn in the middle of the map. So obviously we have this side of the map spawns. The enemy's starting to take C, so we need to jump on A and get control of that. Looks like the teammates are taking that over. So we had that spawn flip, and if I acknowledged it a little bit sooner, I would have recognized that someone was going to be coming from behind me. So that's just another thing to be aware of when you play domination when it comes to understanding how the flow of the map is working and all those different factors are coming into play, because you're going to want to know where people are on the map. So anytime you get a triple cap or you start calling in all kinds of streaks to manipulate the spawns in a bad way where your teammates are moving in a way they shouldn't, this is the outcome you're going to end up with. So let me know how you typically play this game. Do you play solo, duos, in a 3-man party, a 6-man party, or how do you play this game? In addition to that, do you typically go for that triple cap? Do you notice how the spawns have been flipping, or did you learn something new from this video? Either way, go ahead and let me know down in the comment section below. I'd also like to know your thoughts on this particular variant. Not sure if it's necessarily worth 10 bucks, maybe $4 to $5 since you can only have it on one weapon. But obviously in a perfect world, we'd have it like other Call of Duties where you didn't have to pay for specific variants. You'd get them free through challenges or through the tier and supply drop system. And that about wraps up the video. Hopefully you did enjoy and you were willing to hit that like button. I'd appreciate it if you did. And if you are brand new to the channel, like I said before, go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button with notifications on. Stuck around to this point, you probably enjoy the content. Appreciate all the support on the channel. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.